Now let us see the relationship between E bar, that is electric field intensity, and magnetic field intensity of a wave when it travels in different directions. We have already derived equations considering that the wave is traveling in z direction. Now we are going to see different notation that will be attached here when the wave travels in other than z direction. So first consider that the wave is traveling in x direction. So we already considered that when wave travels in x direction, its ex and hx components are 0. Ex and hx components are 0, and ey and hy components are present, or ez and hz components are present. So for a wave traveling in x direction, ex is equal to hx is equal to 0. There is no variation of E bar field in x direction and no variation of h bar field in x direction. Therefore, from the formula of intrinsic impedance, we can write Ey upon Hz. Okay, Ey is electric field, Hz is obviously magnetic field. So when you consider Y field of E, then we have to consider H field of magnetic field. And that is H component of magnetic field. So Ey upon Hz is equal to, we will get minus Ez upon Hy. Now how this equation has derived? It is in the similar way that we have derived the previous equation of eta. Right? So Ey upon Hz is equal to minus of Ez upon Hy is equal to eta. Or we can say that Ey upon Hz is equal to eta and Ez upon Hy is equal to minus eta. Right? The minus sign is coming here. Note down, the minus sign is coming here. Now how to remember this? How to remember this? The Ey, after Ey there is Hz. So after Y there is Z. So eta is considered as positive, and if after Y if Z is coming, then eta is considered as positive. But after Z, if Z is in the numerator and then Y is in the denominator, then it is a reverse process. Okay, so we are moving in the reverse order, so we will consider eta negative. This is just to consider, but if you solve the equation, it will come as minus eta. Okay, so from these two ratios, we will get Ey is equal to, see here, the ratio is, so the ratio will become Ey is equal to eta into Hz, or Ez is equal to minus eta into Hy. Now, how to calculate negative side by calculation or by some laws? So, negative sign is due to the cross product of E and H. Obviously, if you take the cross product of Y with Z, then it is something plus. Okay, so if you take the cross product of AY component with AZ component, then what we'll get? We'll get AX component. And it is plus AX component. Right? So, here it is shown E cross H. E has suppose EY component, let EY AY cap. And if H is having HZ AZ component, then if I take the cross product of these two things, then it is cross product between AY and AZ. And we have seen when the cross product of AY and AZ is there, then it is equal to plus AX cap. It is plus AX cap. Right? So because from Y to Z, it goes to X. So it is a cyclic order. So it is plus. Okay, the cross product is plus. So here it is Y is in the numerator, Z is in the numerator, then eta is plus. But if you take the cross product in the reverse way, that is if HZ AZ is first quantity and cross EY AY is, that is the second quantity, then it is a cross product of AZ and to AY. So AZ cross AY will be equal to minus AX. Remember, so it will be minus eta. In this way, we also find out the directions. So this is for x direction. When the wave travels in x direction, we get this kind of equations. Let us consider the second thing. When the wave travels in positive y direction. Positive y direction, Ey is equal to 0, Hy is equal to 0. Then Ex upon Hz will get two ratios. One component is Ex, second component is obviously Hz. And in the second case, if E has Z component, then H has X component. Right? So from Z to X, we are going from Z to X. Z is in the numerator, X is in the denominator. So it is a cyclic order, or the cross product is positive. And hence eta is positive. So Ez upon Hx is positive eta, because it is a cross product of Az cross Ax. It is positive eta. But if I take the ratio of Ex with Hz, Ex with Hz, then it is equal to negative eta. Or we can write minus Ex upon Hz is equal to eta. Okay, so it is cross product here. It is cross product of Ax to Az was there. So Ax cross Az is equal to minus Ay cap. Remember the cross product, Ax cap Az is equal to minus Ay cap. So eta will become negative, or this ratio will become negative. Similarly, for a wave traveling in positive z direction, Ez is equal to Hz is equal to 0, and we have Ey, Hy, Ex, Hx components are present. So how they are related? If I take the ratio of Ex is in the numerator and suppose Hy is in the denominator. So it is a correct order, Ex upon Hy, then eta is positive. Right? But if you take Ey in the numerator and Hx in the denominator, then it is a reverse order, or the cross product is negative. So it will become Ey upon Hx is equal to minus eta, or we can write minus Ey upon Hx is equal to eta. Both are possible. Now these are all positive directions, x, y, z. Now let us consider one such example for negative direction. For a wave which is traveling in minus z direction or negative z direction, again Ez and Hz are 0 and Ey, Hy, Ex, Hx are present. But whatever consideration we have seen earlier, whatever notations we got for or signs we got for eta, that are reversed now. In earlier, Ex upon Hy was positive, but it is multiplied by negative sign because the direction is negative. So for negative direction, we have to consider minus of E cross H. Remember, we have to consider minus cross product of E cross H. E and H, right? So now Ex upon Hy will become negative, and that is equal to eta or minus eta. You can say that. And if I take Ey upon Hx, then this cross product is negative. Negative of Az cap, right? So Az cap will be the direction of the wave which is traveling, but it is negative, so it is minus of Az cap. Hence Ey upon Hx is equal to plus eta, and Ex upon Hy is equal to minus eta. Okay, if the sign is negative, then we have to consider the final direction as E bar minus of E bar cross H bar, and that is the sign of eta. That will give us the sign of eta. In this way we have to consider, right? So the directions will be reversed. So sometimes it is asked to find what is the direction. Equation is given and asked you to find out the direction or find out the value of eta. Then whether to consider positive eta or whether to consider negative eta, that you have to see correctly. Okay. Now this electric field and magnetic field are time varying quantities, already we have seen, but if they are following sinusoidal time variations, then we can represent those quantities in a different way, in a polar format. Okay, so these representation are shown here in this slide. For a H, that is magnetic field varying with respect to x, we can write H of x is equal to H of x e raised to minus j theta or j phi, where phi is angle of phasor representation. So H field is represented in the phasor form. If I move this phasor arrow in a anti-clockwise direction, then I will, and if I take their projection onto this vertical plane, then I will get a sinusoidal wave, right? So if I rotate this phasor at every degrees in anticlockwise direction, then the value of that phasor at that instant will give the amplitude of the sine wave at angular position. So see here in this figure, see here in this figure, so this phasor is at 30 degree, and we are getting at 30 degree angular position, we are getting some amplitude of this field. This field is indicated as A of t. So at omega t equal to 30 degree, we are getting amplitude of A, and that amplitude of A is given as Am sine of omega t plus phi. Am sine of omega t plus phi. And omega t is this value and phi is this 30 degree. You can write out like that. Okay, so this is a way to represent an equation of a magnetic field or electric field. So at different angles, we are getting different amplitudes. At 90 degree, we are getting maximum amplitude of this vector quantity, and it is called as Am. Right. So in this way, we can represent this Hx quantity or Ex quantity. Now this is phasor representation. If H is also varying with respect to time, H is also varying with respect to time. So we have to multiply it with respect to omega t. Okay, it has some phase value. It has some linear value, and therefore that we have to multiply it by e raised to j omega t. So Hx will be written as Hx mod of Hx e raised to minus j omega t. So Hx is equal to e raised to x, h of x mod of into e raised to, already there is j phi was there, so minus in bracket j omega t plus j phi. In this way, we can represent any field of an electromagnetic wave in phasor representation. In phasor representation, where omega t is angular displacement, omega is angular velocity, time is the, so if I multiply by omega to time, then it is giving us some kind of distance, linear distance, right? So
Welcome
from this,
students.
now
In
we
the
will
last
proceed
lecture,
and let us
lecture
derive
number 23, we have derived
equations, wave
for
equation in
electromagnetic waves.
Helmholtz
And the wave
formats.
was
So we are going to see wave
propagated through
equations
a
for
lossless medium.
sinusoidal time variation
These are the main
using Helmholtz
equations.
equations. So here del cross H, we have derived wave equations for lossless media by considering only time and space variations. Now here we are going to consider wave equation or derive wave equation by considering sinusoidal time variation. Now, how to represent sinusoidal time variation and phasor format just we have seen, and those equations later on we'll call as Helmholtz equations. We know that when we represent Helmholtz equation, we convert dot sign into j omega, right? We have already seen this. Dot sign is replaced by j omega. Dot indicates time variation and j omega indicates frequency variation. So such kind of equations are called as Helmholtz equations. So let us consider first equation, del cross H is equal to j bar plus d bar dot was there. Now dot sign is replaced by j omega, so it will become j bar plus j omega d bar. That is first equation by magnetic field, Maxwell's equation. And second equation is del cross E bar is equal to minus V bar dot. So dot sign is replaced by j omega, so it is becoming minus j omega B bar. But B bar is equal to mu into H bar, so it is j omega mu into H bar. Okay, so what we have done, we have replaced dot sign by j omega. So we already know the equations of lossless media. In lossless media, we have derived this format. Del square E is equal to mu epsilon E double dot. That is the first equation we have derived in lossless media. Double dot means double variation with respect to time. So if we replace one dot by j omega, other dot by one more j omega, then it will become del square E is equal to j omega into mu epsilon into E bar. Okay, so it will become del square E is equal to minus omega square, because j into j is equal to minus 1. So minus omega square mu epsilon E bar. Similarly, for electric field, we can write lossless format. In lossless media, we have written this del square H is equal to mu epsilon H double dot. So again, this double dot is replaced by multiplication with j omega and j omega. So ultimately, we will get del square H is equal to j omega into mu epsilon H. Okay, so what are the final equations? So we'll get del square E is equal to minus omega square mu epsilon E bar, and del square H is equal to minus omega square mu epsilon H bar. Okay, so this again equations are equations for wave propagation in lossless medium or dielectric medium, but they are represented in frequency domain, not in time domain. Okay, and hence these equations are also called as Helmholtz equation for pure dielectric or lossless media, where J, that is conduction current density, is 0. Now let omega square mu epsilon is equal to some quantity beta square, because this indicates the phase shift. The frequency and the media parameters are multiplied, and because of that media parameters there will be some phase shift, and that phase constant, that is indicated by beta, that is called as a phase shift constant. So we got omega square mu epsilon is equal to beta square. Let us consider that. Then what we can write again? Del square E will become del square E is equal to minus beta square E bar. Equation number 2. In terms of beta, we have written the same equations. Del square H bar is equal to minus beta square H bar. Equation number 3. So again, these two equations are same wave equations, but for lossless media, but they are represented in terms of beta. Okay. So suppose now the wave is traveling in x direction and we have to find out the solution of these equations. So if the wave is traveling in x direction, Ex component, Hx components are 0. Dou by dou y variation and dou by dou z variation is 0. So we can, from equation 2, we can write dou 2 Ey. Let us consider Ey component. Dou 2 Ey by dou x square. X variation is there present because wave is traveling in x direction. So dou 2 Ey by dou x square is equal to minus beta square Ey. And similarly, dou 2 Ez by dou x square is equal to minus beta square Ez if z component is present. Right. So let us consider the first equation. Dou 2 Ey by dou x square is equal to minus beta square Ey. So solution of this equation can be considered as Ey is equal to Ey naught e raised to minus j beta x. Okay, where Ey naught is initial amplitude when time t is equal to 0. So Ey, this shows that Ey is varying with respect to distance x. Now if I want to attach some time variation also, so time varying E field is obtained by multiplying that with respect to e raised to j omega t. So therefore E can be represented as E bar of x comma t. E is moving along x direction with time t is equal to Ey naught e raised to minus j beta x plus e raised to minus j omega t. Right, in this way we can get the solution of Ey component for Ey component. So the sinusoidal time variations is obtained by considering only real part of above equation. So if I want real part of the previous equation, this equation, then it is E bar x comma t is equal to real part of E bar x comma t, and that is equal to Ey naught e raised to cos of omega t minus beta x, because e raised to minus j omega t, this total equation will become e raised to minus j in bracket omega t plus beta x, right? So omega t will be it is equal to omega t is considered as plus, so e raised to omega t minus j beta x, right? So some e raised to some j means sin omega t plus cos omega t. So out of that, the real part cos omega t is considered as real part, so it is e y naught cos of omega t minus beta x. Now if we plot this equation for different values of time t or omega t, that is omega t is measured in terms of radians, then if omega t is equal to 0, omega t is equal to pi by 4, omega t is equal to pi by 2, then we got different waves at different time instants or angular instants. Okay, so this means this wave is traveling with a speed v, and that speed v is given by omega divided by beta along x-axis, and it is varying with respect to omega t. Beta is a phase shift. Okay, so from this equation we can consider that at some particular instant time, if I consider this omega t minus beta x is equal to constant, then if I differentiate this equation, then I will get dx by dt is equal to omega by beta. Differentiating this equation, we will got dx by dt is equal to omega by beta. Okay, before that differentiating, what is the equation here? Omega t, because after taking the differentiation of constant term, it is 0. Right, so it is dx by dt is equal to omega by beta, where, and this omega by beta or dx by dt is nothing but velocity. Rate of change of distance with respect to time is velocity. So this v is called as a phase velocity. This v is called as a phase velocity, and beta is called as a phase shift constant. Okay, so this is first equation we got from the solution. Now second, we have omega square mu epsilon is equal to beta square. So beta is equal to omega under square root mu epsilon. Okay, third, beta is equal to omega by v. We can write this from this equation. Okay, but what is v? Velocity. Velocity is equal to f into lambda, frequency into lambda. Also, we can write beta into lambda. Beta into lambda is equal to 2 pi. We can just modify these two equations and see whether it is equal to beta lambda is equal to 2 pi. So what is beta? It is equal to omega by v. So we got omega into lambda is equal to 2 pi v. Therefore, it is equated again. Omega is 2 pi f into lambda is equal to 2 pi v. 2 pi cancel. So we got f into v is equal to f lambda. Or if you go in the reverse fashion, then we will get b lambda is equal to 2 pi. What is lambda? Lambda is the distance traveled by wave in 2 pi radians. And omega is angular frequency in radian per second. So all these equations we have to remember for a wave which is traveling in dielectric medium or lossless medium.
So you can write all this equation. I will wait so that we can solve one example. Two examples I am going to give you to solve these equations. So what is omega? What is velocity? Velocity is meter per second, and it is equal to omega divided by beta. Beta is equal to omega into under square root mu into epsilon. Then v is also equal to f lambda, and lambda is also equal to 2 pi by beta. 2 pi by beta. So all these equations we are going to use in further examples. So let us see. Now let us consider this example. Explain here. An electric field in free space is given by. So always we are see such kind of electromagnetic to 50 of 10 raised to 8 t plus beta x. ay cap 50 cos of 10 raised to 8t plus beta x ay cap volts per meter. Find the direction of wave propagation. Find the direction of wave propagation. Calculate beta and the time it takes to travel the distance of lambda by 2 and sketch the wave. Now, this sketching is not so important, but we will elaborate how the sketching comes and how the wave is represented. So that's why I've taken this example. So what does 50 indicates? The 50 indicates the maximum amplitude. Okay, 50 is maximum amplitude of E bar when all the things t is equal to 0 or nothing is, this cos of 0 is 1. So it should be, this bracket should be equal to 0. At that time, this E will give us maximum amplitude that is equal to 50, right? So it is EM part. EM is 50. Then what is, compare this equation with some EM cos of omega t plus beta x. Then what is omega? Omega is 10 raised to 8. Okay, omega is 10 raised to 8. And beta x, beta is kept as it is. There is no value for beta. And this component of E is which component? It is EY AY. Right? It is EY into AY because AY cap is there. So EY component is there, and in which direction wave is traveling? As here positive sign is indicated in this equation, the wave is traveling in negative x direction. I have told you earlier. The wave is traveling in negative direction, then here positive sign comes. If the wave is traveling in positive x direction, then here it will be negative sign. Okay, so what is the direction of wave propagation? The wave is propagating in negative x direction. That is our first answer. Then second, calculate beta. Let us find out what is omega, 10 raised to 8. What is the equation between omega and beta? Okay, the wave is traveling in free space. They have given that wave is traveling in free space. So what is the velocity of the free space? What is velocity of wave in free space? V is equal to under square root 1 upon square root of mu naught into epsilon naught, and that is equal to, we have derived this earlier, mu V is equal to, or velocity in free space is given as, it is equal to velocity of light, and that is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, right? So what is beta? We have to calculate beta. So beta is equal to omega divided by small v. Omega divided by small v. So omega divided by, you can consider as c, that is velocity of light. Omega is 10 raised to 8 divided by 3 into 10 raised to 8. So that will become 1 upon 3, and it is beta. So it is radians per meter. Okay. Then if the t is, if period of takes to travel a distance of lambda by 2, what is time? What they have asked, calculate the time it takes to travel the distance. So distance divided by time is nothing but velocity, right? So what is t1? T by 2. So t is what? Total time period of the wave. Period of the wave, not total time period. Period of the one cycle. Okay, t divided by 2. That will be the time they have given. Okay, so what is t? It is equal to 1 upon f. So it is 1 by divided by 2f. And that this time period is equal to what? 2 pi divided by 2 omega. So this is adjustment made here. So that T1 comes equal to pi divided by 10 raised to 8, because omega is 2 get cancelled and omega is 10 raised to 8. So it is pi upon 10 raised to 8, and that is equal to 31.42 nanoseconds. Okay. Why this? What is this adjustment? F is equal to omega divided by 2 pi, right? So that is, f is replaced by omega divided by 2 pi. त्यामुळे 2 पाय न्यूमरेटर मध्ये जाणार आहे आणि ओमेगा डिनॉमिनेटर मध्ये राहणार आहे. त्यामुळे हे इक्वेशन कसं होणार आहे 2 पाय डिवाइड बाय 2 ओमेगा. सो इट इज इक्वल टू pi divided by 10 raised to 8, that is equal to 31.42 nanoseconds. That is the time t1, the time required to travel that wave at a distance of lambda by 2. Okay, because in time period t, the wave travels distance equal to lambda. मग t by 2 मध्ये किती travel करणार आहे? Lambda by 2. Okay, so here it is considered as t by 2. Getting it? Okay. Now let us represent this wave and sketch this wave and how, let us see how it look like. We sketch this wave. Okay, same equation is considered here. E is equal to 50 cos of 10 raised to 8t plus beta x ay. Now this is a cosine kind of representation or sinusoidal representation. Consider that we have to draw some kind of sine wave. At t is equal to 0, what is the value? Ey will be equal to, will be equal to 50 cos of beta x. T is 0 means 50 cos of beta x. So at t is equal to 0, it is 50 cos of beta x. So it is maximum value at t is equal to 0. Then at t equal to t by 4, the second wave is there. At t equal to t by 4, what is the equation of E? E is equal to 50 cos of 10 raised to 8 t. T equal to t by 4, t by 4, t is equal to 1 upon f, so 1 upon 4 f, f is equal to omega upon 2 pi, so it will become 2 pi upon 4 omega. So this t is converted in terms of omega. So, and this 10 raised to 8 is already omega. So it is omega into 2 pi divided by 4 omega plus beta x. So it is 50 cos of beta x plus pi by 2. So 50 something pi by 2 plus beta x, and cos of that means minus of 50 sine of beta x. Minus 50 sine of beta x. So at that instant, the sine wave, the representation is lagging 50 towards negative y-axis. Okay, so at t equal to pi by 4, we are getting minus 50 value here, right? And it is in terms of sine of beta x. At t equal to t by 2, at t equal to t by 2, then it is again shifted. T by 2 is equal to 2 pi by 2 omega. So if you put this value, it is 50 cos of beta x. Okay, so it is again shifted towards negative side, and it is this point P. So point P shifted every time. First it is maximum, then it is at negative point. As at 0 instant we are getting minus 50. At 0 instant cosine part is there, so it is again minus 50 cos of beta x. So the wave is traveling axis. See, this point is traveling towards this side, left side. This point is traveling towards negative side. This means wave is traveling towards negative x-axis. This is proved because here it is positive sign. Because always we are getting minus in every EY component. One time it is sin x, one time it is cos of beta x. So it is shifting towards left side, and hence it is called as, it is said that it is moving towards negative x-axis. So in this way we can represent the electromagnetic wave by simple equations. This is just to show you how that wave is moving or how it is represented. Okay, so one more point is remaining, that is same wave representation, but the medium is free space. So when the wave is propagating in free space, what is the considerations? For free space, sigma, that is conductivity, is 0, and J is also 0 because sigma is 0. Epsilon is equal to epsilon naught. This is important. Nu is equal to, so if you this equation of lossless media, What are those equations of lossless media? Del square E is equal to mu epsilon E double dot was there, but just replace this mu by mu naught and epsilon by epsilon naught. Mu r epsilon r are not considered. Okay, so same equations, though those there are for lossless media, can be changed into wave equations for free space as del square E is equal to mu naught epsilon naught E double dot, or del square H is equal to mu naught epsilon naught H double dot. Del square H and del square E is kind of space variation, and E double dot H double dot is time variations. Right? So where V, small v is equal to 1 upon square root of mu naught epsilon naught. Equation of V is always 1 upon square root of mu epsilon, but in this case it is mu naught epsilon naught. So it is equal to velocity of wave. If you put the value of mu naught as 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 and epsilon naught as 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12, then it is equal to, we will get 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So in air, the wave is traveling with a free air, the wave is traveling with the velocity of light. Okay, so the air should not have any conductivity, it should be pure wave. Okay, so again we can find out the value of intrinsic impedance eta. We already seen this equation, under square root mu naught upon epsilon naught, and that comes equal to 120 pi, or it is also equal to 377 ohms. 120 pi ohms, that is equal to 377 ohms. So that is eta for free space, intrinsic impedance in free space.